stuff you've never heard. The funniest stuff you've never heard with Noah Britton.
Hello and welcome to The Funniest Stuff You've Never Heard. I'm your host, Noah Britton. Each episode of the show focuses on a funny person or group and goes in depth for stuff even big fans don't know. This week we're spotlighting Nick Nemeroff. Nick is a Canadian stand-up comedian who's been on Conan and the Just for Laughs festival, but I first heard of him from his Comedy Central special.
My name is Nick Nemeroff, and like most people my age, I am 28. Thank you for laughing at that joke. I actually have some good news for you guys. I've been reading how to do comedy online. And I read that you should talk about what you look like. And I know what some of you are thinking, even though I said, my name is Nick Nemeroff, but in this shirt, and these slacks, this wristband, I kind of look like a mix between Howard and Joanne Nemeroff. All right. Now some Hojo fans here, very cool. I know I look the way I do, but I'll have you guys know I actually identify and sort of feel like a white guy with dreads. Like, for example, I dread the past, the present. Thank you so much for laughing at that joke as well. Thank you. I truthfully was in a little bit of a weird mood on my way to the show tonight. I got some pretty devastating news from the hospital. I found out that my dad has been pronounced dead, and it just sort of made me think a lot about his life and how he spent it all working to raise me and my brother and my baby sister, and I just can't believe that we've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time.
So welcome, Nick. I thought first we could perform the comments on your special. So although I thought everyone would have loved this special, there were 13 negative commenters on the Facebook clip. So solidifying his validity as a comedian, Nick contradicted each one. So I think we're going to perform these. So I'm going to read the comments and Nick can read each of his replies. First one was somebody just wrote, "Not funny."
And I wrote, "No, it's funny."
So then someone else wrote, "OMG, how boring."
No, it was exciting.
That was tough to watch.
No, it was easy.
Yeah, this was horrible.
No, it wasn't. It was good.
I thought he was trying to a bit at first. Then he kept going like this.
No, I switched it up.
He sucks, sorry.
No, he doesn't. He's good.
How uncomfortable.
No, it was really comfortable.
Cringy.
No, it's not. It's cool.
Wow, dude, that tripped me out. I wanted to laugh, but instead it was just an uncomfortable experience.
No, you thought it was normal and relaxed.
This was one of the worst routines I've ever seen. Props to him for the effort, but it was not funny. Has anyone ever told this guy that timing is a huge factor in comedy, because he is obviously unaware of that?
No, it's one of the best you've seen. No props to him for the effort, but it was funny.
Then there was one that was just a sad face.
And then I responded with a very smiley emoji.
And the last one that's my favorite is his reply comments aren't funny, and he's not the funniest I've witnessed without watching the video, just from the comments he left on this post, LMAO Nick Nemeroff.
No, the reply comments are funny.
So what I love about you doing all these comment replies is everybody wants to do that. But you actually doing it is so funny and unexpected, even though it sounds like a thing that like has been done before, but I've never seen it. The thing I love about what you do is it seems like you take what could be very predictable sounding setups and take them to a really surprising and great place. And so I think maybe some very stupid people commenting on your Comedy Central bit were like, oh, I've heard this setup before, therefore the joke isn't good, which is absurd. Right. Is it in response to bad stand-up you've seen? I mean, is it like you hate this stuff so much and it is so disgusting to see these terrible hack comics and you're like, all right, I can take that and I can make it better?
Yeah, it's in response to that, but it's also born out of love of stand-up comedy and watching it so many times. Like before I did stand-up, I would go, not the Montreal scene is like incredible, but I would go watch open mics and I would work it just for laughs for 3 festivals in a row before doing comedy. So I would just get to see a million comedians every year. And just definitely became so obsessed with it and was surprised at how how few people maybe like stood out in a way.
That's great that you put yourself through that. Whereas now I'm sure working any of those festivals, you'd be like, geez, guys, shut up.
No, yeah, I think it was important to do before I was fully versed in stand-up comedy, and I still kind of loved it in a pure way.
One other example of this was your spot on Conan, where you do this whole bit about having forgotten your opening joke and then just read off your hand for the remaining 2 minutes of your set.
I'm just realizing right now I actually forgot my opening joke. Okay. Okay. This is a good one. Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Nick Nemeroff. It's great to be here. Thank you guys for coming out on Tuesday night. Give yourselves a round of applause for being such a good audience. So come on, I know you can do better than that. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. Give yourselves a round of applause for being such a good audience. I know you guys had it in. You just needed some encouragement. Have a hand for a terrific MC, Conan O'Brien. Hey Conan, how's it going? Haha, great, glad to hear it. So do we have anybody here from that town? Oh, you, sir, where are you from? Oh, hi. So where do you go for fun when the second Trader Joe's closes? Haha, guys, I'm just getting around. Check out this guy. He's like, whoa, man, too far. Check out this guy in the back. He's like, what? There are 2 Trader Joe's. And oh, hi, haha, guys, I'm just getting around. He's been a great sport. Everybody give it up for Daniel. So some comedians before talking about relationships and or sex, and let me tell you, dating in this modern age just isn't for me, and I know this might come as a surprise to you guys, but yeah, I'm single. I know Donald gasped it once, like, what, this less intimidating? Michael Cera, mother can't get a date now? Look, guys, I'm not saying I get rejected a lot, but I went to a bar yesterday trying to talk to this lady, and she just left swiped on me. But fellas, you know I'm trying everything. I'm on Tinder, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid. Fellas, I'm even on J-Date, and I'm not even J-ish. Okay, anybody here smoke weed? Make some noise if you smoke weed. Haha, I love asking that question because, I call people who don't answer it liars. Either that or they're like, oh, wait, what was the question? Haha, oh man, I'm so high right now. Guys, if you're a real stoner, you don't even do 420. It's more like 445. Haha, weed's so sick though. So Halloween is right around the corner. Here's the thing I hate about Halloween. That was all that I could fit on my hand.
It's such a great satire of what terrible comics are out there. Have you seen the Andy Kaufman bit where he wordlessly imitates a bad stand-up?
No.
So
I'm sure that's right up my alley.
He goes in the crowd and he holds the mic up to people and he's like,
So dovete co? No dovete che deve. No. I don't believe.
Every beat, every like awful, stupid joke you can fill in entirely from his intonation.
It's hard, sometimes hack comics are very nice, good people too. And it's hard when it's you're doing a joke that's sort of maybe making fun of them, and then they're up either right before or right after you. And
Yes.
sort of an awkward situation.
Right. Yeah. It's an interesting thing because if they're hack comics who are not nice, nobody minds you just destroying
those
them.
are actually my favorite people. Because I definitely have a lot of group DMs with a lot of screenshots of their posts and their clips and stuff.
What do you do with those screenshots?
We send them, just between other friends of mine, and we, I guess, get off on it.
This is interesting because I talked to Dan Licata last week, and he says he has hours and hours of musical improv downloaded to his computer for the same reason. So I want to talk before I forget about your new record.
It's my first ever stand-up album. It comes out Monday, April 27th. And it's 7 years of doing stand-up every night all culminates into this album, and I'm very, very happy with it. Listened to it about 1,000 times, which is drives you crazy, but I'm happy that that's all over with and I can finally put it out now.
I gotta say, Nick's publicity bit for his comedy album was perfect. Do you wanna phrase it the way you did?
I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. I'll do it then. So Nick tweeted, everybody pre-order my comedy album because
they might run out of downloads. You guys got to get on top of it.
And again, it sounds like a hacky joke, but it's not. Like, it's clever, and I had never heard anyone make this before. You also have talked about acting in these other areas, like your acting reel from 5 years ago, which is mostly footage of other people acting and Nick making mistakes, which is a good joke. But also, do you have any other acting you're intending to do or like working on to try to make happen?
That I'm intending on? I think just I'm intending on hoping I have other successful friends who ask me to do stuff in their project. Another bit of Nick's that I love is
the 50 questions to get to know me on Instagram. I will not spoil this, but and I can't play it over the air because it's all visual. But I thought that was. I've licensed it. It's copywritten. Right. I won't give you the rights. Yes, true. I'd have to pay him all the royalties that I make from this show in order to do that. But that's a great bit that I love very much, and I will play another bit now. So this is. The rarest of things, which is a funny cat joke.
The vet said, typically at this age and this maturation level, we would recommend you get him neutered if you're interested. That would cost about $300. So I told the vet that I have a 20. And I'm not saying I'm a master negotiator, but I'm very happy to announce tonight that for just $20, Butter is circumcised.
How much of your stage persona is on purpose?
I mean, a lot of it, again, I me doing it every day, I feel like I see it again more. It's like more and more starting to resemble my real self, I think, which at the beginning it was super character and super, I think I was doing it as a defense mechanism and as a way to combat all the bad stand-up I was seeing that was always so fast and loud to me. I just couldn't believe how common of traits those were of comedians.
It's a good replacement for being funny is being energetic, because then people are like, that was fun.
That always kind of drove me crazy, but
I don't know. I feel like it would be fun to just list out all the worst comics that you want to get rid of. I don't think I should air that.
I don't think I'll post it on Twitter.
Okay, good.
I'll tag them.
That way, right? Yep, exactly. Right.
Yeah, I think it was also the comics that I loved, growing up and same like when you were saying Stephen Wright and Emo Phillips, like the quotable part. I just loved Mitch Hedberg and Todd Barry and Dimitri Martin and stuff. And
sure.
Just always loved how their jokes got stuck in your mind and like could not stop thinking about them.
Yeah, obviously those guys are the best, and I wish I could get any of them on this, but that's okay.
I was raised to be Jewish. Aww. But we went to a very progressive synagogue growing up. We actually had Canada's first female rabbi at my synagogue. Pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And, you know, to give you an idea of how open-minded we were, not only was she female, but she was also deaf, divorced, openly gay, a devout Muslim.
I want to talk about your stand-up show. So how long did this run?
So me and my very funny friend Gavin Pounds ran a stand-up show for 3 years, and it's called skaterdie@hotmail.com. And we would play characters on it because I didn't feel like, well, first I didn't want to host a show by myself, and then I also just couldn't imagine my style being good for hosting. Like any show I had hosted before, and I had hosted, you know, a few shows here and there and open mics for a few years and stuff, but just always felt like my hosting, I had to like change my persona or delivery for it to,
because like Stephen Wright couldn't host.
Yeah,
like he'd be the funniest guy on the bill, but like he'd be a terrible host.
Exactly. It is a different dynamic that the host has to have, I think.
Loud and energetic and fast, the opposite of you.
Yeah.
But so you ran the show for 3 years and you did a lot of characters. What was your favorite thing that happened on this series?
I think we basically played it as two teenagers from Barrie, Ontario, which is a small town outside of Toronto. We were, you know, as dumb as possible. So we did ones where my friend Gavin, as his teenage character, he did an exchange program with Vatican City. So like the Pope came to live in Barrie, Ontario, and Gavin went to go live in Vatican City. It was all like very stupid, but it would just make us laugh so much. Yeah.
So my favorite thing that I heard in this stand-up series is when you guys both go out clubbing.
Right.
And the characters are very excited to go clubbing, and there are so many quick, great, stupid jokes in your conversations. It reminds me of Brad Evans and Nick Ciarelli's stuff. I guess I'm going to bring this up every week. I don't intend to, but it just keeps happening. The most important thing is the joke per second ratio of a lot of things, and there's so many fast jokes in that episode. And the quickest one that's so subtle is you guys are talking about the song Shots by LMFAO and how awesome it is. And then when Nick just casually, very quickly says, yeah, that song's great. It's about weed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example of how sort of stupid these guys were. It's a perfect example to choose.
I went to an orgy recently. Mostly for the group sex. I actually found out I have a new fetish at this orgy. You can believe it, this guy, a new fetish, but I found out that I really like to be choked. Love it. I actually like it so much, I'm thinking about becoming a very bad UFC fighter.
What's the first funny thing you remember doing?
I remember my brother we would go out to dinner. He's about 12 years older than me. We would go out to dinner, and I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, and he would draw these cartoons as we were like, you know, waiting for the check to come, and I would like caption them. And I remember he did one where it was like a guy in a car and there was a big alien next to him. And I think there was like another car in the background. And then I got to write the caption. I wrote, "Oh my God, look, a blue car." And I was like, even at the time, I was like, that seems advanced for 7.
Yeah. What was the first time you thought comedy is in your future?
Probably watching or listening to Mitch Hedberg and that kind of stuff, and just being like, I just like knew that I wanted to do it somehow, and just thought, I just like projected in the future, and I was like already a famous comedian.
Awesome.
And then I was like, I guess that'll just be my life.
What is the funniest stuff you've done that no one knows about?
I think you got it all. I've only done like 4 funny things.
This is an intervention about your fear of surprises.
That is a classic joke.
I've never heard it. I wonder if anyone else has made it. Yeah. What was that?
It just sounds like a classic joke.
Right. Yeah, like your stuff, where it's
stuff
like this should be an old joke, and maybe it is. So I think that's about it for my questions. Do you have anything else you want to bring up?
I should have said the name of my album when I was plugging it.
Yeah, tell us the name of your album.
Name of the album is, you guys are not going to believe this. You're going to love this name so much. It is "The Pursuit of Comedy Has Ruined My Life."
I was talking to my fiance about her fetishes when we first started dating, and she told me that she really gets off on being humiliated, and she invited me over, and sure enough, I was able to make her come. Just by introducing myself to her parents. It got kind of awkward when it became obvious that her parents had the same fetish. And it got super awkward when her parents got mad and started choking me.
So every episode of this show ends with the same house band playing us off, which is Motern Media. Matt Farley, who was interviewed in our first episode and has been our house band ever since. So here is Matt Farley's new song about Nick Nemeroff, which no one has heard until this moment.
You're from Montreal, but you're in LA. Honing your comedic craft every single day. Oh, you got quite an impressive resume. Nick Nemeroff, you've been on Conan, you performed at Just for Laughs, in the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, not to mention the Adelaide Fringe Festival. Oh my goodness, what have you not done, Nick Nemeroff? You were voted Best Newcomer and Best Breakout Comic at the 2017 and 18 I Heart Joke Awards in Toronto. Congratulations on the release of your comedic album entitled "The Pursuit of Comedy Has Ruined My Life." It might have ruined your life, Nick, but it's made many lives much better because you are wonderful.